Hey guys, I'm Clarke, and today I'm looking at the Neural DSP Nano Cortex. Before I get into it though, remember I am giving away a signed pedal that I use on the new album when I reach 1,000 subscribers. So to be within the chance of winning it, make sure you subscribe and also hit the bell icon to be notified of new videos. Okay, so Neural DSP Nano Cortex. I was so excited when I saw this announced because I've always loved the sounds of the quad cortex, but given the size, complexity, and honestly the cost of it, it wasn't really worth me getting. The idea for me to use this is to use it for in-ear monitor feeds, because while I absolutely adore the sound of my Victory amp, I'm finding that every night on tour, microphone's in a slightly different place, it sounds different, and I am that pernickety that it bothers me, and it doesn't feel quite right. Some nights it sounds great, some nights it still sounds great, but different, and I struggle to get into the zone with it. So my idea is split the signal, have the Nano Cortex running in my ears, exactly the same every night, in theory, and the Victory will go front of house, and I guess the Nano Cortex could be used front of house as well, should our sound engineer want to get stereo width or something. But I thought today I would go through it as it comes out the box. I am in the future going to do some captures of my own because I want to see how well it can replicate the Victory, because ideally I want the Victory's tone in my ear, so if I can get a capture of it, have that in my ear, then obviously that's the ideal. But I'm not going to be capturing today. I'm just going to be looking at it straight out the box and giving you my honest review of it. So all I've done so far is get it set up, familiarise myself with it, just to make sure I actually understand how it works. So this video won't be full of me going, how do you do that? So what I've figured out so far is there are 4 sounds you can have accessible at any one time. You have switch 1 and switch 2, yellow and purple modes on each, and those are your 4 sounds. You obviously have an array of banks of different captures that you can load in and assign to it through the app. So I've also got the app running here, which hopefully you'll be able to see on the screen if I've recorded it right. So you should be able to see what I'm using. So for the most part, I'm probably going to control it via the app rather than from the front panel of the pedal. So let's just see what the default sounds are. So sound 1A, or yellow 1. Yellow, sorry, 1B, or the purple one on 1. That's one hell of a long reverb. It's still going. Okay, 2A, or 2 yellow. Very 80s. And 2B, or the purple 2. Okay, so it seems to me that they've basically used the default 4 presets as a bit of a, here's what we can do. The only thing that wasn't really in there was the pitching effects I know it can do. We'll have a look at that in just a moment. I've also got an overdrive here that I really, really love, the Origin Halcyon Blue, just to see how it takes overdrives. So let's try that, actually. Let's go to clean 1 simple. This should be like a complete clean. So a little bit of reverb, but basically just clean. And let's see what happens if I turn an overdrive on. Okay, I wouldn't say it's doing anything crazy weird. It's quite a thin, clean sound, which explains why it was quite thin with the overdrive. Let's see what some of the other sounds, some of the default sounds on it. Edge to octave delay. That sounds a little bit nuts. Does exactly what it says on the tin. Okay, so I guess they're kind of in gain order here. So we've gone from clean to edge. Edge 2 baritone effects. Clearly labeled, it kind of looks like they do exactly what they said, so I'm guessing this is going to pitch shift me down to a baritone guitar. So here's the pitch. It never ceases to amaze me how modern technology deals with pitch shifting, because that sounds like a baritone. Fair play to them. Okay, let's get a bit more crunchy. Crunch 2 with effects. Okay, that sounds a bit thin to me, so let's now try the on the panel controls and see if I can roll a little bit more bass. Yeah, works a charm. Okay, all looking good so far. Let's put on the bridge pickup and let's go high gain 1 effects. So again, really, really thin sounding. Of course, this might be designed for being used in a band mix where you don't want that low end. That is fair. Okay, we've now got the high gain transpose. So let's see how that sounds. I'm no metal player, so I'm just going to leave it at that. Let's not embarrass ourselves too much. Lead 1 effects. This should be quite a good solo tone. Okay, so now let's go on to Crunch 2 again and stack it with the overdrive. We've also got Crunch 3, so let's try that with the overdrive. That sounds much better. Okay, I reckon it's time to start looking at some of my own presets. Let's make one from the captures that are in here. There are, I believe, 25 captures in here, plus all the effects. So let's see what we can make. Okay, so let's go into show all presets. What have we got? So if we scroll down, we can see a whole bunch of empties. You can see Ed 80s Marshall Crunch. That was just to check I knew how to make a preset. Let's take a brand new one. So we're going to create new preset. And we can then pick a capture and also a cab. So we've got to bear in mind the captures are only an amp, so it's going to sound like absolute crap until we put a cab on it. So what kind of amp do we want to make? Let's try something. Let's try something crunchy. So you can see there we've got like Rodent and SV3, so you've got a pedal into an amp. Let's try a Brit, so that's got to be a Marshall Silver Jubilee. So let's go with that, and I'll pair it with let's assume that's a matching cab, Brit. How's that sound? Sounds great. All right, let's stick the overdrive on, see if it works with that. I'll tell you what that sounds like. That sounds like an overdriven Marshall with an overdrive pedal in front of it. Sounds freaking great. Okay, let's turn the overdrive off and let's see what difference a different cab makes. The reason I want to do this is I think the type of cab, or in this case, an IR, the difference that makes to your tone is humongous, and people don't realise. Everyone thinks about pedals and amps. This includes myself. Everyone focuses on amps and pedals without realising the massive effect that the cab will have on your tone. Because ultimately, in real life, that's what actually produces the sound, the speaker. Obviously, this is an emulation, but it does the same job. Much more nasal, that one. Let's try a USPR. I'm guessing that is going to be a Princeton. Will it tell me? Oh, wow. You can go into like all the microphones and everything. I did actually know this, but I'd forgotten. Does it tell me what this cab is? 110 USPRN. I'm just going to go ahead and say it's a Fender Princeton 10-inch speaker. Let's see how that sounds. US Twin. That's got to be a Fender Twin. CA stand V30. So I'm guessing a vintage 30. Not sure what CA stand is. I'm probably being really dumb. Yeah, not exactly sure. I want to click on that. Will it tell me? No. That's got the same amount of body as the Marshall's own one. It's clearer, but it hasn't got the oomph to it. So let's stick with the Marshall, but let's modify it. Why not? So I'm currently looking at a Dynamics 57, so I'm going to go ahead and say that's a SM57. Let's try this one. Is anyone else not hearing a difference? A slight difference. That is actually a lot more subtle than I expected. Yeah, it's clearer. So you can kind of fine-tune the frequency response by changing the microphone and I guess the position. The ribbon has a lot more warmth to it, but that can mean muddiness. I feel like that's the kind of thing that sounds great until you have it with a bassist, and then suddenly it becomes all mush. 414, I guess that's a C414. 421. I quite like the 421. But of course, we can go one step further now and change the position. So, from the center of the cone to the edge of the cone. So, oh, I see they've kind of shown the cone. So, one is almost, well, it is bang on the center. And that's why you never put a microphone on the center of a cone. So you're adding bass, losing clarity as it moves out. What else have we got? High pass and low pass. Oh, cool. So high pass. So it's got a low pass at 20,000. So it's literally no pass at all. So if to me that sounds like it's got quite a low end. It's got a high pass, and maybe everything below 100 goes. See, that's cleared up a little bit for me. And maybe let's take some of the high-end frequencies you just don't use. I actually usually drop it to about 8K. Oh, that'll do. Stick our overdrive again. Again, now that we've got the overdrive on. very harsh, not a fan of that. It's just that sizzle on top, doesn't do it for me. I think I like this condenser 184. 184, what's that going to be? Not sure what that is. There's probably people watching this screaming at the screen for my complete stupidity of not knowing about microphones right now. Is it about you? I really like that sound. That sounds great. I think that sounds absolutely killer. So let's say we wanted to save that. I'm going to hit the save button. I'm going to call that Ed Rock 1. I don't know. I'm going to save that. Now, where is that saved at? That's what I don't know. Am I being dumb? Oh, of course, we set a new... So I've now got a new preset. Now, I can try any of these presets, but I can now assign that to a foot switch. So let's say I don't like high gain simple 1. I've now replaced it with Ed Rock 1. So I can now put my phone away, and if I can go through all my presets. But if I now go to purple 2, there is that preset that I made. Okay, so Neural DSP Nano Cortex. What's great about it? Well, first up, build quality. I know I say this in a lot of my videos, but I really think it's important when a pedal's made properly. This thing's going to get stamped on, and as soon as I pulled it out of the box, I was like, yeah, okay, this is built like a tank. This is going to do well. So big plus for Neural DSP there. Also, the app is brilliant for changing between different sounds. You can try stuff really, really quickly. Try this amp with this cab. Obviously, in real life, that's not possible. It is menus, which I don't tend to like. I'm a hands-on knobs guy, no jokes. But it is really, really easy to use, and you have got the knobs on the top of it to tweak EQ and gain, etc. as you like, and that is brilliant, like I just did to make that preset there. Can't argue with that, works brilliantly. My issue with models has always been that I want to up the gain, I want to lower the volume, I want to add more mids in. You have to go into a menu, and the brilliance of this is you don't. You can tweak it on the fly, but the preset is still saved, so at the next gig, if you don't want that, it's all back how it was when you started. Obviously, you can add your own captures in, which I've not tried yet, but that's obviously a big plus because it means you're not limited to just the sounds that's on there. You can even go onto the cloud and download other people's captures that they've made onto your own device to get. So you've basically got unlimited types of amps you can use on this thing, which is brilliant. It seems to take pedals pretty well. The test will really be when I start gigging it and really start getting into it. But from this preliminary attempt, it seems great. There's something that's a plus and a minus, which I'll come on to the minus in a minute. But the fact that it's 9 to 12 volt power supply, 600 milliamps is ultimately achievable on most pedal boards. A lot of power supplies can reach 600 milliamps, so it makes it very, very easy to integrate into your board. Okay, so what am I not so sure about? There's a few things that jump out to me. The first one, I literally got out of the box, plugged it in, horrible noise. It turns out you can't use a normal guitar cable on the output. Obviously you can on the input, but on the way out it has to be a TRS. Now, it does say that they are 2 1/4-inch TRS cables, but for the most part, you can usually plug a normal guitar cable in and it will work. It just obviously won't be balanced. But this, horrible noise no matter what I tried. I appreciate that there's probably some good reasons why that is the case, but I just feel for something of this size that's clearly designed to be integrated onto someone's pedal board, it just seems odd that there isn't a method in which you can plug a guitar cable into a DI box to plug it in on stage. Please let me know if I'm wrong. If there is a way to do it, put it down in the comments. I'm happy to be wrong on this, but I couldn't find it. So even if there is one, it's not immediately obvious. The other one I think is just obviously avoidable. The first one, I appreciate there may be something I don't understand. There may be a reason for it. But this one, I don't really see an excuse for. It doesn't come with a power supply, which... there is a brilliance of this, that it works on a 9 to 12 volt power supply as long as you have more than 600 milliamps. That's actually not that much. So you can use it off a pedal board power supply if you've got 600 milliamps or more. But a lot of people will be getting this to use it either as a standalone rig or in a very, very small fly rig or something. 4 different sounds on cool on your feet. So a lot of people will want to be using this as a rig. So the fact they need to spend 500 quid for their rig and they have to go buy another power supply as well, I don't know. For something of this caliber, Neural DSP are obviously professional quality. They're serious players in this kind of game. I would have liked to see a power supply. It doesn't cost much for them to throw in. I don't know, it just seems a little bit cheap to me to not have one, and it's not a cheap product, so that's a little bit of a shame to me. Overall though, I am really, really happy with it. I think it's a really good quality product. I'm really looking forward to using it on the road. And like I said, I kind of love that infinite tweakability that it's got. If you don't like any of the sounds that are in it, you can make your own with amps that you get to play your own or ones you borrow, or you can download other people's captures. It's just, there is so much in it. You can keep tweaking until you get exactly what you want. Or if you're like me, you'll just keep tweaking until you're blue in the face. But I do think that makes this truly a really good product because it is small. It can fit on your pedal board. It's not massive current draws. It's not, you need a weirdy beardy power supply. Despite what I said, you can use a normal power supply with it. So it really does have some massive bonuses and I'm really looking forward to using it. In any case, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed with the bell icon ticks to be notified of new videos. Have yourself a great day and I'll see you next time.